all the get to know yous.
Perfect.
I'll explain what's going on with this thing. So, a while back, I found this thing called the fast friends procedure, and it's because I'm a research nerd and was doing a lot of sociology stuff. And I thought, oh, what a really cool way just to get to know anybody. And so it was validated in research a lot. And then I saw it on an episode of Big Bang Theory as well. So it was
Yeah.
how Sheldon got to know what's it? The girl across the
Penny?
Leonard's wife, Penny. That's it. So
Penny.
they
Yeah.
do a whole episode on it. They walk around and they just ask these questions. And so I thought, oh, that's really cool. That is, for me, so much more entertaining than the typical powerlifter podcast where we go, so how'd you
Absolutely.
get into powerlifting? Um,
Absolutely. I love it.
all right, so I'm pulling it up on my phone now. So I've got the questions. And I gotta be honest, I'm really excited about this one because we've never met. Like, I
I
don't know
know.
who you
Never.
are. You don't know who
No.
I am. This this is
I
going
feel
to
like it's
be
the coolest social experiment you can imagine, right?
right. Yeah,
Right.
I love it. So I'm
Same.
really really stoked that you've put your hand up and give this a go. So we'll see how far through the questions we get.
All
You
right.
can tap out anytime if you got stuff to do. You go, nah, I'm done. Let's get out of here.
All good. All good.
All right. So, Kate, I assume that's your name because your Instagram handle is Katetothebar.
You're absolutely correct. That is my name.
All right, Kate. Given the choice of anyone in the world, whom would you want as a dinner guest tonight?
Ooh. Look, at this point in my life, I feel like it's just my actual friends sometimes because life is so busy and sometimes it's months between catch-ups and we say to each other, oh, are you free? Are you free now? So honestly, my first instinct is like just my actual friends who I would like to see and catch up with.
Right,
Um,
I'm the same.
yeah, it's like life's getting, I don't know, kids and work and powerlifting and everything that
How
we
many
do sometimes.
how many kids do you have?
I've got 4 kids.
Oh my gosh! Do you know what causes
Yeah.
it?
Still waiting to figure it out. How did this happen?
My goodness, where did you all come from?
I know. No one told me this would occur. No, yeah, 4 kids. But they're all at school now, but still, still life is busy. Everyone says teenagers, it just gets busier, and I can attest that that's absolutely true with
Yeah.
taxiing, work, and all that kind of thing. How many do you have? Do you have any kids?
Yeah, I've got 2 girls, 19 and 16.
Oh,
And
awesome.
despite how being incredibly self-sufficient and strong, independent young women that they've grown up to be, which is
Yeah.
awesome, they occupy so much headspace still.
They do. You worry about them still, and
Yeah.
they're starting to be independent, but still, I guess that never goes away. And that's a sign of being a good parent, I feel like, if you
I think so.
always think about them, and
Yeah.
think about what they might need, yeah.
So how old are yours? What's the age spread?
So my eldest is 17, and then I've got a 14-year-old, a 12-year-old, and an 11-year-old. Yeah.
Oh wow, that's intense.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. But
All right.
fun. But have fun.
If you want to be famous, would you like to be famous, and in what way?
No. Does anyone say yes when they ask you this question? No, I wouldn't like to be. I guess I wouldn't like to be famous as myself. You know how there's some people that are famous under like a pseudonym or like a fake name. Like,
Okay.
I'm thinking of this Instagram page that I follow. It's called Fashion Critical, and she, I assume it's a she. It might be a man, but she doesn't release her identity, and she just like follows all the red carpets, I suppose, of fashion, and she critiques in a quite hilarious way people's outfit choices and their styling and design. And she's very complimentary to a lot of people, but also kind of like sometimes she sort of says, maybe correct this, fix this, and it's quite funny. But no one knows who she is, and she's got quite a big following, but she banks on her stage name, I suppose, and doesn't ever release who she really is. And then like Banksy as well, you know, like that, like street artists and stuff like that. Like I feel like that would be kind of cool to be like famous or infamous, but not anyone knowing it's actually you. Like I wouldn't mind that. Because then you can live your normal life. You can live your normal life as yourself.
So see if I'm getting this right. You want your work to be famous, but you don't want to be famous.
Yeah, maybe. Like I would like to be able to make a contribution, I guess, artistically or in some way, but not to have anyone know it's really me. Does that make sense or no?
I totally get that. I think we've talked with a bunch of people that the trappings of fame seem to be not that cool. Like the loss of freedom. I think what you're describing is having that massive contribution that I think most of us want to make to our communities or society or the world at large, but also retaining the freedom of just being able to walk around a shopping center and
and no one to recognize you.
Yeah,
that's right. No one to know your family. Like I always feel so sorry for people who become famous, whether they intended to or not, from however they got there, and eventually they can't. Like they have to hide their kids, or they have to move somewhere where they can't not recognized. And I just feel like I would not like the headspace that would put you in as a person or as a family.
How are we defining famous here? Like what do you think that? How many people need to know who you are without you knowing them for you to say I think I'm famous now? Yeah,
that's good. Do you think it's when you're recognized fairly publicly? I guess. Like I guess it depends on the circle too. Like I have a friend who's a very well-respected and well-known singer in musical theatre, and in the musical theatre world, everyone would know who she is, and I guess I don't know what you call her famous, but she'd be recognised. She'd be known to people who love and know musical theatre in Australia particularly. But if you weren't in that world, I don't think she'd be recognised at all. So I guess it depends on the circle and how many people. Yeah, that's a tough question. I don't know. What do you think?
I go back and forth on this one as well. Before I left powerlifting, or I had a little holiday away from the IPF, I got quite used to people telling me who I was, which it's always a bit of a trip. And that was I'd turn up at a powerlifting competition and people go, "Oh, you're Nathan Baxter," and go, "Yes, that's correct. Who are you?" And so the first few times it's kind of weird. Then I started getting that, while traveling as well, and only once, I realized that it was kind of cool because somebody stopped me in LAX and knew who I was.
Wow.
They'd seen me at the Arnold Classic, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's really kind of cool." And then you walk away, and the next 50 people that I walk past in LAX once again have absolutely no idea who I am. No clue. But I think if I was famous, because I had a conversation, it was the same day I had a conversation with Mark Henry from the WWE. We have mutual friends, and so we were just chatting. When I walked away from that conversation, nobody spoke to me. When Mark Henry walked away from that conversation, nobody spoke to him, but everybody filmed him and watched, and oh my God, that's Mark Henry. So there's fame, and then there's some people sometimes recognizing you, and I think I was recognized, but I wasn't famous. And
maybe that's nice, especially in your field where you're respected and known. And again, I'm new to powerlifting, so your fame and everything is all new to me. So if I saw you in the airport, if I saw you in the airport, I would have no clue who you are, even though I've just started, off in this. But I guess if you're well respected in your field and you're recognised in your field, that's kind of a nice compliment too, I think, as well.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I think we all, I think we all enjoy being recognised by our communities.
Yeah. I agree. Especially that's a good positive thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think some people just like being recognised, whether it's positive or negative. They just like the brand recognition.
That's very true. And that is such a prevalent marketing tool now. I don't care if I look like an idiot. You all commented and gave me lots of fame.
Right. I struggle with rage baiting on Instagram. That's a really
I
I
cannot.
haven't I haven't worked out what to do with it because I don't want to respond because I know by responding I'm giving them what they want and they're getting
Yeah,
attention and
yeah.
they're getting all these points from the algorithm to send more people that way because people are engaging. So
Mhm.
what I do now, what I do nowadays is everything in my story, or most things in my story, is my reaction to a rage baiting post somewhere. So I've seen something that I strongly disagree with and
Yeah.
go, no, that's horrible. I don't think people should treat each other that way. So I go,
Yeah.
well, what do I think? And then that's what I post to my story. So um, like the one that I use as an example at the moment is I saw a guy putting up about coaching that people should shut the fuck up and do as they're told because they're paying for a service. Let the coach coach. And I'm like, oh
Hang
God,
on,
no,
hang on.
absolutely no, absolutely no, 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 never. So then on my story, I just put up all coaching is collaboration because
Yeah.
that's my opinion,
Yeah.
that's my experience. Okay, that's where I stand. I'm not going to engage with this post that where I don't actually think this young guy believes what he says.
Yeah.
Most
It's
of the
just
time, I think
a race.
he's just doing it to get
The,
views and likes and interaction.
the attention. The attention. That's right.
I think 10 years ago we called them trolls and we dealt with them accordingly. All right, next question for you.
Sometimes they're still dealt with accordingly in their own way.
Well,
You know.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like
I
Joey
do.
Blow.
I've yeah. I've enjoyed meeting um, trolls in person over the years because
Mm-hmm.
my behavior doesn't change much. If I'll say it on the internet, I'll say it to their face, and I have done,
Yeah.
and that's always quite interesting,
Yeah.
especially when me being a 175 kilo super heavyweight bumps into a 74 kilo male who's a troll. That's always adventurous
Hello.
because people look really different when they don't have a camera screen.
They really do.
Uh, anyway, here's an interesting one for you. Before
Okay.
making a telephone call, because I assume that you're old enough that you still make telephone calls. Um, do you ever rehearse what you're going to say?
Look, not as much anymore. When I was a teenager, I was actually quite terrible at speaking on the phone, and my first job was working for my dad in his like retail pool shop, and I got the job and I had to answer the phones, and I was honestly so bad. And the lady, a friend of mine who worked in there, she used to have to coach me and write me a script about what to say. So back
Oh,
then
really?
I was really bad. Oh yeah, I was really bad. And she taught me a lot about being confident on the phone and yeah, just the social etiquette, I suppose, of telephone calls. Now I'm
Mm.
fine with it. I guess it depends. I guess it depends on the type of call too. Sometimes if it's something really important, I will write a couple of notes because I'm much more confident writing and I feel more comfortable writing than speaking out loud.
Hmm.
And this is why I throw myself into situations like this because I'm not naturally a like verbal communicator. I'm much better at writing.
Uh huh.
But yeah, I think as you get older, you care a bit less too about how you come across, and you understand that people make mistakes on phone calls, and yeah, you just go with the flow a bit more. I think. Yeah, I never rehearse it, but if it's an important call, I might make some notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that comes from? I'm not. I'll try not to insult you with your age.
You can.
So
I'll tell you if you want to know.
yeah, what year? What is your birth year? Let's put it that way.
So I'm 41. I'm 1983.
Okay, all right. That's what
Yeah.
I'm figuring somewhere around there.
Oh, thanks.
We had so I'm in the second half of the 40s now,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I think the pressure that we had on phone calls growing up was extraordinary.
Yeah.
Um, like we're
Yeah.
told, we had a no more than 28 seconds. That's 20 cents you've
Get
spent
off.
now.
Get
And
off.
it was, I know my dad was very aware of how many seconds I'd spent talking
Yeah.
to who and how much that was going to translate to in the phone bill. And so
Mhm.
I always felt like everything that I said had to be very, very important and every word had pressure on it. So I used to get
Yeah.
really stressed out making phone calls. And I would
Yeah.
literally before I dialed the number, and it was the circular dial as well. It wasn't even the press pad. I was waiting for that 9 to flick all the way back around. Um, and I'd be like going, okay, yep, I got to say if it's his mum that picks up, I got to say, yeah, hello, Mrs. Stanton. Yeah, good to see you. Is Heath home? And I'd be going through what I wanted to get through. And if they asked me a question about me, it would really throw me. I'm like,
I'm not prepared.
I didn't practice that. What are you talking about? I wasn't prepared for him not to be home. I just wanted to go ride our bikes together. I don't know what you mean. How am I feeling? How's my day?
Yeah, I just recently finished The Resilience Project by Hugh Van Cuylenberg, and he
Great
talks a
book.
lot in there, a great book, and he talks a lot in there about making phone calls to girlfriends that he had at the time and the process of learning to speak to the parents before he would
Oh,
speak. Do you know that story? And he
yes.
became really good friends with one of his girlfriend's dads because the dad would chat and ask him about himself, and they'd have this amazing relationship on the telephone before he even got to speak to his girlfriend. And I thought that's sad. Like, we do miss that now. Our young people miss that interaction, that conversation with more adults because they've all got their own phones. They just go straight
Yep.
to their phone and text or Snapchat or whatever they have. And yeah, we miss those sort of, this is how you speak and introduce yourself and may I please speak to, and that whole thing. Yeah, so that's kind of a lost art, I think, as we get older. Yeah.
I think it was October or November, somewhere around there, I had my 20-year, not 20-year, 30-year high school reunion. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I'm really old. So I didn't go to the 10 or the 20, but I thought, gee, the 30, that might be really interesting to see what's happened and see who's doing what.
Yeah.
And this one girl that I was pretty keen on through high school, Spanish girl, long dark hair, like stereotypically Spanish beauty.
Yeah.
We never dated, but I'd always, I'd go around, knock on the door, and whatever. I remember having wine with her dad one afternoon and having a great chat and spending like over an hour talking to her dad and thinking this guy was just the coolest, and we got on really great. And then I spent time with the daughter. And it was like, yeah, there's nothing really here, and we both went our separate ways. But I
The
didn't
dad's
remember
cooler.
her so much. But I remembered her
The
dad
dad.
30 years down the track.
Was it the wine though, or was it the dad?
I don't know. It was a little bit of both, It was just having white wine and olives in the afternoon with this really cool Spanish dude. Um,
Fancy.
yeah, probably get some eyebrows raised now if I did that with a 16-year-old, if the roles were reversed.
Probably.
So,
Probably. Yeah.
yeah, things don't always translate well with time. What would constitute a perfect day for you?
Oh, I'm a big fan of an early morning, like ocean swim, like a beach, like a cold
Like
ocean swim.
How early is early?
Like as the it seems so cliche as the sun's coming up, but like sort of early, when the birds are starting to wake up and
Mm-hmm.
and to see the sun coming up over the ocean. That's really lovely in Queensland, and you have the opposite in Western Australia with the sun setting over the ocean. But yeah, beautiful with the sun coming up, and ocean swim. And I actually like a winter ocean swim. People think I'm
Yes.
crazy, but
Not crazy at all.
yeah, thank you. It's like not Antarctica. Like I live in Queensland, so it's not that cold. But yeah, a nice ocean swim in the morning. I love a good op shop and a secondhand book thrift.
Okay.
In like a little country town or something, just sort of wandering around op shops and secondhand bookstores. Yeah, I love live music too, like indie, sort of local indie live music. I'd love to have that in my perfect day. Some Thai food maybe, like Thai food for dinner. Yeah, just the simple pleasures, I guess. Nothing crazy.
Like prawns. I went straight.
Nah,
You said prawns. You said Thai, and I've gone straight to prawns for some reason.
nah, not prawns for me. But if you like prawns, that's great. Prawns.
I don't normally. I think maybe I'm watching a bit too much MasterChef this season, and my head's going to strange places.
I'm so thankful that MasterChef, I just want to say, this is a side note, but I just am so thankful that MasterChef has largely maintained its we're just here for the food mentality. Like, it hasn't gone too drama-filled. It hasn't sort of pitted the contestants against each other.
Yep.
Hats off to MasterChef people for just, like, keeping the integrity of the show. And I just appreciate that so much about that show.
Here. I really love it. I just, Yeah, I find it so wholesome as well.
Same, same.
They're just really nice.
Yeah, yeah. Just about the food. It's about improving people. It's about It's just there's nothing dramatic or snarky about it. And I'm here for. There should be more. There should be more of that kind of television. And over the years, like I started watching it at the very beginning. Over the years, it's maintained its popularity. I feel like in a large measure. So it hasn't needed the drama
Yeah,
for the ratings.
yeah. I remember a couple of seasons where they focused a little bit more on the kitchen mistakes and how stressful it was getting something wrong. And
Yeah,
I think even that's kind of leveled out now that there's less hype about not even the drama of, oh my God, am I going to get it cooked in time? It's just like, yeah, we
yeah,
cook some stuff, we eat it,
yeah,
we like
yeah,
it. Here's some fun. And yeah,
yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
I really do love
I
it.
rate it. Yeah.
When did you last sing to yourself or to someone else?
Every day, all the time.
Every day.
Yeah, all the time. I'm a music teacher, and I love all kinds of
Are
music.
you?
Yeah, yep,
So
yep.
is that high school, primary school? What sort of music
Um,
teacher?
I teach. Well, at the moment, I teach year 8 music. I teach in a Peter 12 college, so I do teach in the primary school, but I teach STEAM in the primary school, so science, technology, engineering, arts and maths all integrated. And
Right.
then I also teach music in the high school, so year 8 music and then some in the primary school. But most of my experience is in teaching primary school music. But yeah, a bit of out of my comfort zone teaching year 8 music, but I actually love it. Like when they asked me to do it, I was no, scary, high school, no.
You
But I'm
sound like
getting
you sound like my wife. She's always been in primary schools. When
yeah,
I'm in education, I tend to stay with high school kids. They're my jam.
yeah,
Um, she works with 5 and 6 year olds, which I find
yeah,
kind of scary and intimidating.
yeah.
And she says the same thing about 14 and 15 year olds, and I go, they're all the same
It's
thing.
fine. Yeah,
They're
yeah.
all they're just big hormonal babies.
Totally. But I'm actually really enjoying teaching year 8. It's a challenge, but yeah, I'm learning so much from them, and yeah, it's cool. It's pretty cool.
What are you learning from them?
Oh, look, the school I teach in, there's a lot of needs, I guess you would say.
Hmm.
It's lower socioeconomic, and I chose to go there after being in a really affluent private school. I chose to leave and I went to this school, which was closer to my home and more in my local area, I suppose. And everyone said, "You're crazy. Why would you do that? Why would you go from that really fancy school to this one?" But I've never worked in a place that felt like there was so much good you could do, I guess. And I know that sounds a bit naff and corny, but um, I guess I'm learning mostly from them that everyone's got something amazing to offer, and even these
Mm.
kids who sometimes people have written them off, and especially in music, kids come to my class, number one, because they've chosen music, but mostly there's at least half of them that come because they can't think of what else to do, and they just get sort of put in there by someone, or they haven't chosen a subject at all, and they just get put in there because it's practical.
Hmm.
So half the kids in my class are very musical, and the other half are just, we're here because we didn't know what else to do. So, but music is cool because I get to see some of the kids that in every other subject they would probably do really badly, but in music they can have success, and they can learn to play the drums, or they can learn to play the guitar, and it's something that connects with people on a soul level, I think, music. And yeah, for the kids who struggle in every other subject, I want them to come to music and feel that you're welcome and that there's something that you can offer no matter what experience you have with every other teacher. This can be a place that you have success. So yeah, I've learned that about the kids that everyone else writes off. Yeah, you can't always write them off. Yeah, everyone's got something cool to offer. Yeah.
I'm 100% with you on that one. I feel like giving you a round of applause right now. That's
Oh,
really beautiful. That's cool. I like that.
yeah.
So I should share with you my role in high schools was that I was a chaplain for 13 years. I only worked
Oh, rad.
with low socioeconomic. I only worked with the kids that were written off.
Yeah.
That's my calling in
They're my
life.
favorite. They're my favorite people,
Yeah,
you know? Yeah.
yeah, and you're right. I think I've learned far more from some of the kids that I've walked with over the years than they have from me. And I'm incredibly grateful for these young people that will turn up to a classroom or turn up to a chaplain's office and be so vulnerable and so authentic with everything that they do. Whether it's a so-called negative behavior or positive behavior or whatever, they're just authentic. They're not masking anything. They're showing you the results of the way they've lived for 14 or 15 years. And I think to have that authenticity, even when it can damage you, I think is a beautiful thing to foster in young people, especially, and is what I
Absolutely.
try to do with powerlifters now as well.
Yeah, so important. And to be able to show them that there are adults that they can trust too. A lot of them come from really difficult home lives, and some of it they share and some of it they don't. But to show them when they come to school that there are adults who care about them, there are adults who want to hear their story and who want to give them opportunities and will give them positive feedback and more chances. And yeah, I just think, that's something that I never want any kid that I teach to say she didn't care about us. So that's it. If that's all that they get from my class, then that's worth it to me.
Oh, that's gold. That's gold.
Yeah.
Like, think about, I don't know, think back to your own high school experience.
Yeah.
You can probably give me 2 or 3 names of teachers that genuinely cared, and
Yeah.
you'd have to describe the teachers that didn't care. You go, oh, that one with the bad haircut, the the middle-aged lady with the bad bob, and you go, oh, okay,
Yeah.
which one of those?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But you can remember the people that made a genuine connection and cared.
Yeah, definitely. All the ones, there are some teachers too that are just nonchalant. I've noticed more and more as I observe teachers. It's not that they don't care, but they're just neutral. And I think sometimes teachers do that to protect ourselves too, because it's a difficult institution to work in.
Yeah.
And if you have a big heart and lots of emotions and feelings, sometimes you can get pulled in, and sometimes it's difficult, I guess, to protect yourself. But yeah, it's tough. Being a teacher's tough.
It is. It really is, and it's only getting tougher. And I think, yeah. Oh, gee, I could go all day ranting about this.
Yeah.
I think the model that we have for teaching and education being so outdated, and we're still being asked to use the same model to teach people to teach a whole different culture now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a new culture that learns a new way, that has different tools, and we're going, you know what, we're going to sit you down and we're going to try and teach you the way we did 150 years ago, because I'm sure that's sound practice.
Yeah, that's right. And everything's moved faster than we've been able to keep up. And
Yeah.
I think in a way it's up to individual teachers in their individual classrooms to say, I'm going to change this and this and this about my own practice, because on a bigger level it's not happening fast enough, but we can do it. We can do it individually, so.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
That's cool. All right, I'm going to get this question out of the way because I don't like it.
Okay.
It's boring. If you were
All right.
if you were able to live to the age of 90 and retain either the mind or body of a 30-year-old for the last 60 years of life, would you want your 30-year-old mind or your 30-year-old body?
I don't like that question either.
Yeah. It's kind of. Do you
think,
find it kind of like a fixed mindset, and it doesn't allow sort of growth or nuance?
well, I just think you miss, well, I suppose if I had to choose, I would probably choose a 30-year-old body, but my 40-year-old body is way more capable than my 30-year-old body. Like, can I pick my 40-year-old body?
Right. This question did not take into account masters powerlifters at all.
No, that's right. No, or people that found their athletic love or calling older in life. Like when I was 30, I hadn't realized yet that I was strong and that I loved doing this and that I wanted to keep doing it. So that I would have missed, if I chose 30, I would not have the body that I wish I could have grown old with. So yeah, it doesn't take into account all individuals.
How did you find powerlifting?
Oh, look, this is a really long story, but I'll summarize quickly.
I love long stories. That's why I have a long podcast.
A long podcast. When I was about 30, must have been 35 or 34 or so, I moved to the Sunshine Coast and I joined a different gym, not the one I'm at, that was just down the road from my house. And I'd never really been at a gym of any kind before, but my kids were all at school, and I didn't feel like I was where I wanted to be physically at that age, and I just said I'm doing it. So I joined this gym, and it was the first time I'd ever picked up a barbell of any kind. And the coach there, his name was Luke. He was a massive influence in my life at that time. He taught me how to use a barbell, and we did a lot of Olympic lifting there, but also deadlifting, benching, squatting, all that kind of thing. It was more of a functional movement sort of gym. I was there for 5 years, and I really enjoyed it. There was a lot of running and a lot of outdoor sort of obstacle course type stuff too. There's a little message that's come through from me that beeped. Then I had a massive, humongous, disastrous life situation where I separated from my husband after a long time together and made some really significant, I guess, negative personal choices based around all the things that were going on in my life at that time. And I just was in a really, really dark place. And one day I was sitting in the Aldi car park just in my town, sad, upset, miserable, not knowing what I was going to do with all the things that were going on. And I saw the gym sign that I currently go to, SimCity. They have just an A-frame sign on the side of the road. And I saw the sign, it just said gym in massive green letters with an arrow. And I'd left the other gym, and I just knew that I wouldn't get myself out of this massive, dark, depressive slump that I was in unless I did something different. And I knew that I loved doing strength training, and I knew that moving my body in the past had helped me when I was feeling low. So I just walked in, and on a whim, I just walked right in. And Jake, who's now my coach, was just sitting in the front of the gym doing his own session. And I just walked right up to him, and I just said, "Hi, can you tell me what this is all about? I really want to join. I like lifting." Like pretty much all I said. And he looked at me like, "Okay, you weird lady." And but he was so great. He took me into the office and he chatted to me, and he said, "Come in for a session. Let's see what you can do." And we did a session together, and he said, first of all, like straight away after that first session, he goes, "So do you want to compete?" And I was like, "No, you're crazy, man." And he's like, I think you've got some capacity. I think you're really strong. I think if you want to train here and you want to work on it, I think you'd really enjoy competing. Let's just see how you go." I was like, "Okay, fine." So I just started training with him, and I loved it ever since. Like, I never looked back, and changed my life for sure. Yeah.
I love that. Just hi, I really like lifting things. Help me.
Please help me. Things are bad.
I think anybody that's been around powerlifting for a little while is going to hear someone like that and just gone, "Oh, no, you're one of us. That's okay.
Yeah, that's right.
You've found your place now. You've got here.
Right.
You've got it. You belong here."
Yeah, totally. And I really do feel like that about powerlifting. I feel like it's something that I was missing for a long, long time. I wish I found it when I was younger, but how good that I found it at all. So.
Yeah, I read. I know it was in 2006. Dave Tate, he runs Elite Fitness Systems in the US, and he had this big blog. And one of the things he wrote, he says, "You can't call yourself a powerlifter until you get on the platform. That if you squat, bench, dead, heavy in the gym, like you train that way, you lift weights. Powerlifters do it on the platform." And so I'm like, I guess I have to do a competition then. Then I can call myself a powerlifter. Like I really enjoyed the community at that point, and the community for me was me. And then I was 1,600 kilometers from Perth at that point, so it was me and nobody. And then whoever I could get to talk to me on the internet. So I used to email a lot of guys that would write articles for Elite Fitness Systems or Westside Barbell, and so if they left their email anywhere near a blog post that they would write, I'd just cold email them and go, "Hey, I'm Nathan. I'm a powerlifter. Can we chat? Can you teach me what you know?" And so I found that people within powerlifting really enjoyed that kind of approach, because I think we just get. I think we know powerlifting's weird inherently. It is, and we know we're weird, and we might be fine with that, but we're not sure everyone else is fine with that. So then we find another weird person and go, oh, and then stay, come on in.
Yeah.
Let's play. All right.
Yeah.
How much do you squat? Doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
You just like it.
No, we don't care. That's right.
Are you good at this? Are you good at this? Nope. Doesn't matter. All right, just hang out. There's going to be two of us doing this weird thing now. And I think that's how powerlifting gyms get started.
100%. And I've realized so much, especially in my gym, and I'm sure it's the case in other powerlifting gyms. It doesn't matter if you're good. It just matters that you love it. And I think that you can, you turn up at whatever level you're at. You turn up brand new like I was, or you turn up with lots of experience, and everyone's welcome and everyone supports each other in my experience anyway. And it's wholesome. And you're right, weird, super weird, but how good to find other weird people. Yeah.
That's what I really enjoy, going back to World Bench Press Championships every year now. Like most of my friends are all my friends now are either M1 or M2, so the guys that I used to compete against. And I hang out a lot with M3s, so guys in their 60s, and these are the guys that haven't stopped competing in like 40 years. They just keep on going, and they share that that joyful weirdness that I think kind of typifies powerlifting. And they just any new weird person that comes in, they're like, oh wow, I haven't met you yet. Let's talk. And so I think that's a lot of this podcast here is that I don't get to do it more than once a year now. So now I just like, the skill of meeting new people, weird powerlifters, and asking them who they would invite for dinner.
That's right.
That's the game.
So good.
All right. Do you have a secret hunch about how you'll die? And given you live in Queensland, there's a lot of ways you could die in Queensland.
No, sharks, no. Honestly, I don't really think too much about it. When I was young, I had this massive phobia of death, cemeteries. I think my mum. I have this really core memory that my mum took me to a funeral when I was probably far too young, and. No discredit to her. She was doing what, she thought she had to do. But I feel like I went to a funeral when I was 3. And I remember it being an open casket funeral. And I just remember being on my mum's hip walking past it. And it actually quite negatively affected me for a lot of years. And I had lots of dreams about death. And every time we drive past the cemetery, I couldn't look. I used to have to do these ones and stuff like that
really?
as a kid. Yeah, as a little kid. And I think I've gotten sort of past that now, but still the thought of dying, I often used to say, I'm not dying, I'm going to live forever. There's no dying. I'll just there'll be a way. By the time I get that old, they'll work it out, so people will stop dying. But I think as you get older, you make peace with the fact that there'll be a time where your life will end. Maybe, I've often thought that I might get a brain tumor because my brain is really overactive. My brain goes like this. It's a powerlifter thing, probably. And my mouth is and my brain as well. And so I sometimes think, your brain's just going to go one day too much. Something's going to happen. Stop it. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think maybe that's more a teacher thing than a powerlifter thing.
Maybe. Or just a cape thing.
Maybe it's just you.
Yeah.
All right. Question 8. Let's go. Name 3 things that you and your partner appear to have in common. So let's go through this. What do you and I appear to have in common, according to you?
Well, love of powerlifting obviously is one.
There we go. Yeah.
There you go. We've done well. 1 ticked. And I feel like probably there's a bit of a love of education that we've established, a love of supporting young people and, the importance of education and learning. Let's see. How do you feel about chocolate?
Oh, all of them?
All of the kinds?
All of the kinds, any of the time.
Excellent. There we go. 3. Done.
There we go. Well, I think, so I hung out with Brett Contreras, the glute guy, a little bit when I was in the States. And so he's really good friends with a guy called Brad Schoenfeld, who puts out a lot of great information about hypertrophy on the internet. Brad has a fairly large family. One of his sisters, Melody, is a good friend of mine. We met through kettlebells.
Mhm.
And I didn't realize Brett lived in Arizona, in Phoenix, and Melody was saying, "Have you ever met Brett?" I said, "No, we haven't, but I think we've got some mutual friends. It'd be really cool to meet." And so she teed up with me to go around and do a workout with him and his training partners in this cool private gym. It was awesome. And so because I'd just done the Arnold Classic, I was doing my famous CrossFit workout, which is load 140 on the bar, and you have to do 20 rep sets of squats, bench, and deadlift, and that's the workout. Get to the end of the workout, and Brett and I just talking, and the we basically found three things that we had in common. He goes, "So you love powerlifting?" I go, "Yeah, man, I love powerlifting. It's really cool. You know, it seems like you do too." And he goes, "Yeah, I really like it." He goes, "After you do powerlifting, do you like eating Mexican food?" I've gone, "Oh, yes. I love Mexican food, especially here in Phoenix, because it's made by Mexican people and seems really
Yeah.
authentic."
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then I said, after you do powerlifting and you're eating Mexican food, do you like drinking beer with your Mexican food? And we're like, yeah, yeah, we should be friends. That's enough.
I feel
And I
like
think,
powerlifting and food, right? Like it's usually a pretty good combo.
right? You just go, oh, do you really like food, powerlifting, and then having alcohol while doing? I'm like, yeah, yeah, I like
The
that.
trifecta. The
Yeah, let's be
trifecta.
friends. That's it. That's entry to the club. You're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
For what in your life do you feel most grateful?
Um, I'm so thankful to get a chance to be a mum. Not everyone gets
Mm,
that opportunity, and I have some friends who've had to wait a really long time for that opportunity. And it's probably one of the hardest things I've ever done, but probably definitely one of the best things in my life is the chance to be a mum. Um, yeah, I'm really, really grateful for that. It's made me into a much better human being than I would have been if I hadn't been one.
mm-hmm.
Um, very, very grateful for powerlifting too. Like, again, it really did come into my life at a time I did not know what I was going to do, and it really helped to give me another start, I guess, another chapter, in lots of different ways, not just physically, but mentally too, emotionally. And I guess I'm always thankful for freedom, the freedom that we have here, where we live. I don't know, just imagine not being able to go where you wanted to, or study
Mm,
what you wanted to, or work where you chose, live where you chose. Like in Australia, you can pretty much study, work, live, do pretty much whatever you choose.
yeah.
There's a way, right? There's a way to get pretty much anywhere you want to be if you're prepared to work. So yeah, I think there's lots of countries that don't have that luxury, or that are not set up for those choices and the freedom that we have here. So always thankful for that compared to lots of other people in the world.
I like that answer. I like that you're grateful that you're a mum. That's super cool. If you could change anything about the way you were raised, what would it be? And I always think this is such a loaded question for anybody that kind of identifies Gen X. So I think anybody 40 to 55 right now, this is a super
Yeah,
loaded question.
yeah, because parenting and upbringing has like changed so much. Hey,
Mm. Oh yeah.
um, yeah, oh, yeah. The way we were raised was honestly night and day with now. Oh, look, this is a tricky one for me too, I suppose, because I I have a really supportive, loving family. I had a great upbringing. I grew up on 7 acres of land. Um, we were outside a lot. I'm the eldest of 6 siblings, so I had always a friend, someone to play with.
Hmm.
Really supportive parents. Lots of opportunities. Um, I guess one thing I wish in hindsight that I knew more about, or could have changed about my upbringing. I grew up in a very strict religious family,
Uh-huh.
and I feel now as an adult, and look, lots of great things about that too, lots of good values that I learned and lots of things I'm really thankful for, great community of people. But I wish I'd kind of had more freedom as a child and a teenager to figure out who I wanted to be, no matter, or in isolation to that religious choice, I guess, because it sort of felt in my mind like, this is our religion, this is how you grow up, this is what you do, this is the kind of path you follow, this is the person you become, X, Y, Z, this is how it goes. And it, I guess in hindsight, it didn't always feel like there was much choice for me. And I wish that I'd had the choice to either do that or to do something different. And either choice that I made, I wish it would have been okay. It's a convoluted answer, I know, but yeah.
No, I hear you. I think that's a really common one for kids that they're raised in religious households, that working out where, and I think for most kids anyway, it's really the question of adolescence, isn't it? Is who am I and who are my parents, and how much of what my parents believe do I actually believe?
That's right. Yeah.
Where do I begin and where does the world end, and those sort of things. They're hard questions to answer, and
yeah.
I think I really resonate with that freedom question.
Yeah.
The freedom aspect of it, like how free am I, and how much do I need to push to find that freedom?
That's right. And do I really have the ability to say, I'm not doing, or I don't feel like those types of things are my pathway, and to still be loved and welcomed and appreciated anyway in my family, I suppose, without any sort of expectation of having to be what was expected, or, yeah. I know that sounds kind of ungrateful, because it's not, like, I don't think my parents intended it to be that way. I just think that was just a side result of the way that they raised us, thinking that they were doing because of base of their beliefs, what they thought was best, you know. So
yep.
yeah, there's no blame placed or anything, but
yeah, I think that's the interesting perspective that parenting brings, isn't it? Once you realize how much of what we've done as parents is just trying to do what we think is the right thing in the moment.
Yeah.
And it's, based on the information that we have, we go, okay, I think this is best. I love my kids. I want them to be healthy and happy. I want them to grow up.
Yeah.
I've got an idea of how I want them to be as adults, and I want to kind of sort of shape the terrain so they get there. But then how much freedom can I afford to give in order to have that? And how much is that just me trying to control outcomes, and how much is this is the way things are?
Definitely.
And it's a balancing act, isn't it?
Totally. And I hear myself saying to my kids all the time, this is the first time I've done this too. Like, this is my very first time being a mum of you at this stage of your life, and let's work it out together. I'm still working it out, and I don't have all the answers. Let's figure out what it should look like together, you know. So yeah,
I always thought I was really lucky. When I lived in Karratha, we had these great friends that had 4 daughters. And they were the eldest 2 were a fair bit older than the younger 2, and it was like they were doing the oldest to a second time around. And so I got to benefit from. I would talk to my friend Al all the time. I go, man, you're just doing everything ahead of me, so I get to watch what's working, and what's not working, and we'd talk about that. And he said that he kind of felt that with his younger 2 daughters, because they were 10 years younger than the first 2. The first 2 were born when they lived in Africa, and then the second 2, once they'd moved to New Zealand and Australia, they had the next 2. So it was quite comical going, oh, well, we did this the first time around, and I would never do that again. So now with the younger 2, we're doing this, and Nathan, I recommend that you don't do what we did the first time, because that's a nightmare. I'm like, oh, okay, good. All right, not doing it then.
Perfect. Yeah.
Awesome. So I always felt like while we were living there, that we had some cheat codes as to, because his eldest 2 daughters, I love them. They're fantastic women these days. They're both professionals. They've both got great marriages and kids. I'm like, okay, what he was doing, that seems to work. I'm just going to copy him.
Yeah.
But nowadays I see that we have much less of those kind of interactions, because we're a bit more isolated. We're a bit more independent. So we don't always have that ability to watch somebody that's 5 years ahead of us and copy what they do. So I totally hear when you go, never done this before. Never
Yeah,
seen it
that's
done.
right.
I'm just rolling the
Figuring,
dice on this one,
figuring it
kids.
out. That's right. And you can read, you can read lots of parenting books, and there's so much advice out there if you want to look for it. It's everywhere, and everyone says all different things. And you can
Mm-hmm.
take all bits and pieces, I suppose, that feel right or sound right to you. But at the end of the day, this is your first time as your own human raising your own kid. So
Yeah.
every single interaction between parent and child is going to be completely different to every other. So, the common principles probably apply, but the intricacies, I guess, are going to be different for every single
Yeah.
pair of people. Yeah. Yeah.
I I both yeah. I used to cringe when I would hear it would normally be my father's voice channeled through me with something I'd say, and I'd kind of cringe because it was always something that he would say to me that I didn't like growing up, and then they would
Yeah.
come out of my mouth and go, "Oh, right, okay."
There it
Dad was
is. There it is.
I think Dad was feeling a bit of out of control when we were
Yeah.
teenagers. So I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, because I'm feeling out of control now, so this thing comes out. Ah, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
And so I say to parents nowadays that you've got really two options as parents. You're either going to repeat exactly what your parents did because you liked it, or you're going to do what you think is the opposite of it because you didn't like it.
Yeah.
And then over time, and your kids will do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see them doing something that you did, and you're like, oh, okay, so that paid
Oh,
off.
that's
That was a
good.
good
Yeah.
thing. They like
Yeah.
that. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then there'll be other things that they do that you just go, why are you doing it like that? It goes, because mom, it's not your way. And you're like, oh, damn.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah.
and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, that hurts. That hurts. It still hurts when I see my daughters cooking sometimes. And they're like that. I was like, okay, all right, you can do that. Do
Fine.
that.
Fine.
It's your choice. All right. And it's that fine where your shoulders up, go, fine, walk it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Your problem. Your problem. That's right. Yeah.
yep.
Yeah.
Oh, dear me. If you could, this is the last question in the first set of questions. If you could wake up tomorrow, and look at this. This is see on my screen. I've got an app blocker, and so I've had the app open for too long now.
Oh
And
no.
it says,
Kick
Nathan,
you out.
you should be relaxing, reading books, looking at trees. And I go, thank you, phone, for keeping me honest.
Oh,
So
that is so
just
mindful. That is so mindful of your phone.
I have massive issues with how much I use my phone, and I know I use it too much. So I have all these things in place to kick me off as often as possible, and I just overrid it. So, if you could wake up tomorrow having gained one quality or ability, what would it be?
Oh.
I
I
used to think this was the superhero question, but I think differently about it now. I
Yeah.
think
It's
it's
not,
more
is
of
it?
it's a humanity question.
Like a strength, right? A strength or a
Yeah, I think
yeah.
so.
Yeah. Okay. I would like. This is going to be weird, but we're powerlifters, so it's okay.
Ooh, even better.
I wish. I wish when you met. I wish when I met everyone, I had like the ability, or I wish everyone had, I guess, the ability to translate, or I guess wish everyone had like a little tiny video synopsis of their backstory, just a quick sort of summary, and a little like synopsis of their why, like what their value set is, or what their sort of why, their overarching why is. And I wish when you met someone, you could just sort of get that, put it into your brain, and then every interaction we all had with each other, I just feel like would be so much more productive, so much more empathetic, so much less judgmental, because we just have this little summary about what makes each other tick, you know? Is that super weird?
No, I kind of like that. Like,
Like just a little download, like a little downloadable, like you just sort of download it from each other's handshake, maybe? Like you shake hands and you just get this little, right, you know, and then you proceed in your interactions just with that little bit of backstory. And how much nicer would the world and humanity be to each other if we just understood just those little things about each other? Not that you know everything about them or their whole life, but just that little
Yeah, I don't think that's weird at all. I think that's really cool. Like I've imagined it a few different ways, like like a just a little PDF handout that you walk around with, and
Yeah, like
you meet a
scan.
person in the street and go, "Here you go, this is
Yeah,
me. This is me in a nutshell."
brochure. Or you scan each other's QR code and you've got like a little like,
Hmm.
or like you plug into each other's tail in Avatar and it just kind of gives you like this little like
Oh,
visual in your brain,
yeah.
something like that.
See, now a lot of this stuff coming from a neuroscience perspective, it's like, oh, we have that already. We have that built into our system,
Mm.
and this is what the work that especially I did with young women and aggressive young men in particular. This is what we did a lot of. You can get that download pretty instantly, and we're set up to be able to do that. Unfortunately, a lot of our life is spent uncoupling ourselves from it and thinking that it's impolite to act on first impressions. Um, One of my favorite things to do when I meet a person is, well, one of them is sometimes I'll go for the surprise hug and just see how they react, because you can get a lot from that.
Yeah.
Um, if there's any body workers working out there, like remedial massage therapists will tell you this all the time, putting your hands on someone and just making contact. So particularly skin to skin contact. So like a long handshake.
Mhm.
Um, there's a whole lot of downloadable information that you can get from a 7-second handshake and
Yeah.
extended eye contact. And it's almost like you're downloading someone's history.
Yeah.
You
Very
never
true.
quite,
Very
you
true.
can't be quite sure what that history is, but you can pick up so much just
Yeah.
from a
The
few seconds
non-verbal.
of, yeah, those
Yeah.
nonverbals.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like if you think about it, our skin is sympathetically innervated. So that means all the nerve endings are coming from our flight or fight section of the autonomic nervous system. So
Mhm.
it makes sense because our skin is our primary physical defense for everything in the world, but it's
Yeah.
also one of our primary communicators. So
Yeah.
what we feel in our skin and what we give off in the skin is our nervous system communicating directly with other people's nervous systems.
Mhm.
And so we used to
Mhm.
teach all these things around. If you get this weird feeling in your body when you meet someone, um,
Trust
don't
it,
ignore it.
right?
Like trust
Yeah.
it. Like find out
Yeah.
about it. Be curious about it.
Yeah.
Uh, for the longest time, because I look the way I look, I always thought that I was intimidating and mean, and I needed to smile more because if I don't smile, I look really really angry. Uh, and even
No,
to the
you
point,
don't.
even to the even to the point when I went back to university, I had these they look like Terminator 2 sunglasses. They were RNAs. They were my favorite sunglasses. I left them in a hospital ER once, and it broke my
Thank
heart
it.
not having them.
Thank
But I'd put those on, the goatee, and I'd just be like this. That's my resting
Yeah.
face. I'm not mad. I'm not happy. I'm just neutral. Um,
Yeah.
and so I was really self conscious about that. But then one of the first people I met when I went back to uni, a woman in her late 20s, and she said, "I don't get any of that from you. That's not how I saw you when I met you." And she was able to. She was really good at looking past the physical appearance and going just by the energy or the vibe or what people put out.
Mhm.
And so I've found now just giving people that, like what you said, the non-judgment,
Mhm.
and giving people that first 7 to 10 seconds to almost to win me over to go, okay, what's here when I shake your hand? Like when I make
Mhm.
eye contact with you, what am I getting
Mhm.
from you?
Yeah.
And I've found over time, I'm normally pretty accurate with that first 10 seconds, whether I'm going to like somebody long term or not.
Mhm.
I've never met somebody that's given me a creepy vibe early on that has ever
Mhm.
been able to bring me round. And they've always done something eventually. They've gone, oh, that's what it was. Okay, you really
Yeah.
are creepy. Um,
Yeah.
and then the people that give off the don't look like they should give off this really gentle vibe that do, I
Mhm.
know that I'm going to be friends with them 10 years down the track. I'm going
Mhm.
to want them in my life no matter what they're like.
Mhm.
So I don't know. Maybe you have that ability already, and it's just something that we can continue to develop and play with.
Yeah, totally. And I think some people are naturally probably more attuned to that without practicing it. Like there are certain types of people that don't feel uncomfortable straight away looking people in the eye or making those connections immediately. And some people can just read people automatically almost, I feel like, too. And yeah, some people it takes a little while. I struggle with this because I immediately just think everyone's wonderful, and I just have this like give everyone the benefit of the doubt. Everyone's great till proven otherwise, and it's sometimes not served me very well, I suppose. Just thinking everyone's fabulous, you know. So, but I guess I don't know. Like, I don't want to lose that part of myself either. It's nice to be positive and nice, yeah, to assume the best about people. Yeah.
You know, I think going back into teaching, one of the biggest things is an unconditional positive regard for students. And so I think thinking everyone's wonderful is kind of cool, because in my experience, if you dig hard enough, you're going to find something wonderful with almost everybody on the planet.
Agree.
I did work in prisons for a little while, so I can. There's only one person that I've ever met that I couldn't find that wonderful thing in them.
Yeah.
And it kind of gels with why he's serving such a lengthy prison term anyway. It's like going, okay, that I don't think there is anything redeeming in there about him, but he is the only person ever that I've met that's been like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think, you know, going into those conversations, thinking that whoever I'm speaking to has something amazing and wonderful about them, and now it's my job to find it. And it's my job to help that person feel comfortable enough with me that they will show the wonderful bit. I think that's a really fun way to live life, and you're opening yourself up to so much more beauty and joy and
I agree. Then being the other way, then assuming that everyone's awful. Yeah, like I can't imagine living like that, you know, where you just
waiting for people to piss
let
you
you
off,
down, or
waiting for the bad thing, waiting for the other shoe to drop.
That's right. And we all know people like that, and yeah, they're no fun. They're no fun, are they?
Have you noticed? Like, I think you've been around long enough in powerlifting now to notice people like that come through the gym, and they tend to last 6 to 12 months. There's something about lifting weights that just drives them away.
Yeah, no,
And the people that tend to search for good things and search for the positives, I think weightlifting and powerlifting especially is inherently attractive because it fosters and rewards curiosity.
Yeah, that's very true. And you can't be in powerlifting for like a dopamine hit, you know what I mean? Like,
yep.
You've got to be in it for the small, daily, do the same boring thing every day, every week sort of mentality. And that sort of mentality has been really nice for me, who has a really like sort of flighty brain, a little bit like, oh, you know.
You've got a flighty job. Like,
I guess.
You're dealing with like 100 personalities a day.
Very true.
Like that.
And powerlifting,
that's flighty.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. And powerlifting's been so good because it feels really grounding. And, you know, I talk about powerlifting often as people that sleep with a weighted blanket on them at night to help them feel like regulated, you know. And there's lots of research actually in education about and in trauma-based education about picking up heavy things.
Yes, absolutely.
And holding heavy things, walking with heavy things is actually really, really beneficial for our brain. So
100%.
I feel like that about powerlifting for me. It's like just picking up heavy stuff has really helped to ground, regulate, and keep me solid, you know. So, yeah.
There's an essay by the musician Henry Rollins, 1992, I think. I want to say 92. He put this out, and I read it back then, and like I was a punk. I loved Black Flag. I liked the Rollins band. I was into the Seattle grunge scene, and so having Henry Rollins being this punk rocker, all tatted up, but very straight edge, didn't drink, didn't take drugs, talking about lifting weights, and he writes the essay is brilliant, and it's still to this day forms a big part of why I lift. And he said the iron is the greatest antidepressant he's ever had, and for me it's true as well. And it comes from this idea that 200 pounds is always 200 pounds, that I can have out in the world. People can call me the greatest ever. They can call me a complete bastard. I can have the best day, the worst day. People can pump my ego up or they can tear it down. But once I go in the gym and I load the bar to 200 pounds, 200 pounds is always 200 pounds. It never
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah.
How I feel under the bar will change every single day, but that bar never ever changes. It's reliable. It's honest. It never lies to me. It tells me the truth every single day. And I love that stability. I love having that thing that I can come back to go, well, how do I feel today? All right, let's load 200 pounds, see how I feel.
See what happens. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's
So
not about how the bar moves. It's about how I move and how I feel today.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And that's why I guess I called when I started my Instagram thing. I just did it because I love to write and I need to get my feelings and story and like stuff out. And I just started it for me, and I just called it Cake to the Bar because I used to say to myself every day, Kate, just get yourself to the bar, no matter, and obviously not the alcohol type, the metal type.
Get to the bar.
The metal type. Get yourself to the bar. And I used to say that in my head, and I would make myself go, and that just routine of doing that is literally what I guess brought me back from not knowing if I would be there the next day, to be honest, some days, to feeling like, yep, we're going to be okay, and there's a way forward, and there's light, and there's another chapter ahead that can be solved. So, yeah, I absolutely resonate with what you're saying. Yeah.
I love it. All right, how are you feeling? Because this is we're on to set 2, the next 12 questions. You cool to keep going?
Yeah, you've got time, I've got time.
Hey, I got all the time in the world. This is what I do. I sit around drinking coffee, asking people questions. And if I'm not asking you questions, I'm going to be annoying somebody in a cafe asking them questions about what they're eating. So you're saving somebody in a cafe right now. They can read their book in peace. They don't have to listen to me.
You're welcome, stranger.
Whoever you are. All right. So if a crystal ball could tell you the truth about yourself, your life, the future, or anything else, what would you want to know?
I wouldn't want to know. I don't think there's any, I don't know. I just don't think there's any future in looking too far ahead or planning too far in advance or wishing to know what would have happened, what should have happened. I try really hard to just live in the day and in the moment, and sometimes we do a little bit of planning ahead, but I think if I'm thinking about all those things, then I lose what's happening today and what's present in front of me. And I wouldn't really want to know. I think the concept of a crystal ball, what if I hated it? What if someone told me I hated it? Then I'd have an awful thing to look forward to. Nah, I wouldn't want to know anything.
I'm with you on that one. Totally with you. I've told people for years that 2 years before all the major life points for me, they weren't even on the horizon 2 years out. Maybe 12 months out. I'm not sure they would be on the horizon either. So like 12 months before, or 2 years before I married my wife, we hadn't even met. So
That's
there's
right.
one. A year before our first daughter was born, we weren't really looking to have kids at that point. So that was a beautiful change in plans. Same again for our second daughter. I think 2 years before she was born, we were quite happy being parents of one child. 2 years before I had my strokes, they weren't on the horizon. They kind of came out of nowhere. So like 2 years before anything major that has shaped my life, I had no idea it was coming, and I'm glad I didn't know, because I think that that surprise ending and then the surprise next bit, because it's never an ending. Like the worst thing can happen, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm still alive. All right, what do I do now? So knowing something's coming doesn't change the question every day. Is all right, well, what's next?
Yeah.
What
and
now?
it's the time travel issue. Like, knowing the future just wrecks it, because you suddenly go, oh, I better make sure I do this differently or quickly. I have to, I think you miss the authenticity of your life if you're planning it based on some other information or future thing or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. Is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a really long time?
I'm going to go back to university. I love university. I miss studying so much. I love working, but I miss sometimes I don't love working, but by and large I love my job. But I would love to go back to university and do a PhD one time. That's one of my big dreams that I've got for myself.
What would the topic be?
At the moment, the one that I'm most, I think, connected to is that I would like to figure out what happens in teenagers' lives as far as when they get to, I just noticed that when they get to about grade 7, 8 or 9, kids that have played musical instruments or been in the choirs in primary school suddenly stop.
Ooh,
And
yeah.
they get to high school and it's not cool anymore to play an instrument and it's not cool anymore to be in the choir. And whether you've got a good, sometimes it's different in a high school if there's a very strong instrumental music program and a very dedicated teacher. Mm-hmm. But mostly, all the kids that play instruments in primary school stop. And I just want to know, number one, why that happens. And I would like to know if there's any well-being links associated, I guess, with the kids who continue. So yeah, I'd love to do some interviewing, some story-based research, I suppose, hearing their experiences of why they've stopped, if they didn't stop, why, and whether there's links to improvements in well-being for those who continue being involved in music playing.
That's a very interesting question. I would like to know the answer to that too. So if you can get onto that,
hurry up.
All right.
Yeah.
If you, come on, let's go.
Okay, fine.
Oh yeah. Okay. That's really interesting.
Yeah, thanks.
What is the greatest accomplishment so far in your life?
I don't know. I just I'm so much less about accomplishments these days. Like I've got this hanging from my can't see it. That's one of the first medals I've literally ever been given. That's my powerlifting medal from the competitions that I was in recently.
Nice.
But I don't know, like the actual accomplishments as far as like what the world says is cool or is accomplished, I'm not really sure that I subscribe to that. I suppose my greatest accomplishments are just trying to be a good person, trying to help people out, trying to be friendly, trying to come into spaces and encourage people. I love getting to know new people and building people up and hyping people up and bringing people together. I think that's one of my strengths, I suppose. And yeah, it's important to me to build community and to make sure that wherever I am, people feel welcome, people feel comfortable, people feel happy. And I try really hard to make sure that I am that myself and that I encourage other people to do that too. So it doesn't always happen, but like everything that we try and do, it's a continual journey of learning and figuring it out as we go. But yeah, I just want to leave a good mark on the world in my little sphere,
Mm-hmm. I think they sound like great accomplishments, and from what I can tell, you're doing a pretty good job of that so far.
Oh, thanks, appreciate it.
What do you value most in a friendship? I tell you what, I'll give you. I value most in a friendship somebody that will pay for my beer. That's my entry point. Are you going to buy me dinner? Okay, we can be friends.
I'm in.
All right, let's
We're
do
friends.
this. I'm
yeah.
in. All right.
Yeah.
You bought me food once. We're friends for life.
Yeah, we're totally friends. Yeah. I just want friends who are not too needy as well. Like, you know how you've got those friends who sometimes you might not talk to them for months and months and months, but when you come back to them, it's like the same as it's always been.
Yeah.
I really appreciate friends like that.
Yeah, that's what I love about Benchworld so much. Like these guys that I've been seeing now for 15 years, and I see them for a couple of days once a year.
Yeah.
and we're like, all right, where did we get you last time? Are you telling me
Yeah.
about your and yeah, it
And
just
off you
goes
go
on.
again.
Yeah.
Off you go. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, that what's it? It's the lack of neediness is like it's not quite confidence, is it? But it's more self-understanding.
I think
I like
so.
people that are like, yeah, I get this. I get that we're not
Yeah.
going to see each other all the time, but while I'm here,
Yeah.
I'm here.
That's it. And you've got your life, and I know you're busy, and you've got your things going on, and whenever we see each other, we connect. There's no judgment. There's no why didn't you call. There's none of that. We just appreciate and understand each other for whatever's happening, and you give each other the benefit of the doubt, I suppose, too. Yeah.
Yeah. It's what is your most treasured memory?
Uncomplicated.
Uncomplicated, yeah.
Uncomplicated friends. Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I don't I like putting how to put it? I like putting a lot of effort into friendships.
Mm.
So long as that effort is reciprocated. And if it's
Mhm.
reciprocated, I'll just keep on putting more and more effort into it. But if it's
Yeah.
not reciprocated, it's like, oh, okay, no
That's
worries.
fine. Yeah. No worries. Yep. No
Um,
stress. Yeah.
I kind of see it like making cups of tea for people. Like I'm gonna, I'll make a dozen cups of tea and walk
Who
around the
wants?
room going,
Who wants one? Yeah.
who wants a cup of tea? Oh, you don't like
Yeah.
tea? Oh, you don't like
No
black tea?
worries.
All right, I don't have cream. Bad luck. Can I have
Yeah.
sugar? No, I don't do sugar. I've got black tea. Would you like black tea? That's it.
Yeah.
Um, and so for the people go, yeah, sure, I'll have a cup of tea.
I'm in.
I'm in.
And sometimes I think the whole kindred spirit thing too. I think sometimes you just connect with someone and you don't know why, you don't know what the common denominator is even, but you just feel that it's easy. It's just an easy relationship to have. You understand
Yeah.
each other. Yeah, and that's nice too to find people like that.
I found out just a couple of weeks ago that a guy that I've known for a really long time now, he was a massive baseball fan growing up as well. We've never talked about baseball before. I don't know how we got into baseball this time. Turns
Yeah.
up we both wanted to play Major League Baseball. That was our aspiration as teenagers. And we're like, it makes sense that we were the same thing
Cool.
when we were
Yeah.
kids. It's like, that's
Yeah.
cool. Now we've
Yeah.
got a whole lot of other stories that we can talk about, or things that we can go, oh, did you see the game last night?
Yeah.
Or what do you think of the new rule on this?
Yeah.
I like those ones. That's fun.
Yeah.
That's fun. All right. Next question for you.
Mm.
And it's two questions in a row, and you'll see where it's going when asked the first one.
Okay.
What is your most treasured memory?
It's probably when all my kids were born, I guess. It's pretty special
Somewhat.
to me.
How much?
Yeah.
What do you remember of giving birth?
Quite a bit, actually. My labours are all fairly quick and not much time for pain relief.
Right.
So I was lucid for all of them. And yeah, I remember all of them quite clearly. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. 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 And pretty cool meeting a little human that's that you helped to create,
Well, yeah, and from you actually created it, like you incubated it. It's whatever you ate for 9 months, they ate. Like you literally. It's still one of I think one of the coolest things about being human is seeing babies and just going, okay, like so last week you were where?
Yeah.
When you play that holiday game, going, last week I was in Norway, or last week I was on a plane from Dubai, and then for the baby go, yeah, last week you were inside.
I was in her belly. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
You were just hanging out in this perfect blissed out environment, and then you got shot out somehow.
Pretty amazing. The whole life journey.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. Here's the follow-up question to the first one. What is your most terrible memory?
Oh, what is your most terrible memory? This is hard. This is hard for me as a bit of a toxic positivity sort of person. I sort of delete them if they're really bad. Yeah, look, it's probably probably around the time that I described before, around separating from my kid's dad and all the things that occurred at that time. It was the hardest time of my life, and lots of really sad, negative memories, I suppose, and been a lot to, without going into too much detail. It was a lot to work through at the time. Yeah.
If you knew that a year from now you would die suddenly, would you change? And do you mind if I guess the answer to this?
Go ahead. Yeah.
Would you change anything about the way you're living now? And I'm going to guess, judging by our conversation so far, that you're going to say I wouldn't change anything. Would that be accurate? Would you?
Do you mean like from, like, if I knew today that I had 12 months to live, would I change this next 12 months?
Yep.
Oh, I probably would change some things. Like, I think you're a little bit delusional if you wouldn't change anything.
No, I'm just going to go. I'm going to get the same job.
My life is perfect. No. No, I would change some things. I would be way more connected to the important people in my life and less on my phone. I would get off my phone. I'm like you with my phone a little bit, because I really like connection with all different types of people. And if I knew that I only had 12 months left, I think the reality of that, and I was just saying this morning, I said, I'm going to get off my phone more when I'm around my kids, because I want them to know that they're more important to me than the people on my phone that I'm talking to or messaging or whatever. So I think I would definitely, if I knew that I only had 12 months, make those choices much more apparent. But why wait, right? Well, like, I should do it right now. Why are we waiting? Yeah, that would be one. And I would do a lot more travel as well, I think. If I knew I only had 12 months, I'd just sell everything and just travel to see more cool things, more cool places. But yeah, I don't think I would change too much fundamentally about myself, but maybe some of my actions I would adjust, I guess, to make the most of the time.
I like that. What does friendship mean to you?
Again, it's humans. Yeah, I think Barbara Streisand, I always say this, Barbara Streisand says in one of her songs, people who need people are the luckiest people in the world. And
I know that song.
Do you know that song?
Yeah, I'm going to have to sing that later
You're going to have to
today.
sing that now?
Yeah. Because that's going to be stuck in my head for a while now.
Sorry.
People.
That's it. Oh, you got it. Look at you go.
People who need people.
And the best version is her live version. Make sure you listen to the live version, not the recorded studio version.
All right,
yeah.
I'll get that. I'll look at
Okay,
Spotify
get that done.
when we're done. That's on the playlist.
Yeah. I think people are really important to me, and friendships. You know, some of them come and go through life, but I think it just means finding people that you can trust, that accept you for who you are, that know, like, I'm thinking of some of my really close friends. They know all the things, you know. They know all the very worst parts and all the very best parts of everyone, of each other. And it's a safe place, a place where you can be vulnerable and you can say, this is the whole of me. And we hug each other anyway, and we help each other through it, and I think that's nice. And I think there's not very many people that I have like that, I guess. Only a small handful that I feel really deeply that close to as friends, but I think it's a place where you can feel safe to be completely who you are.
As an extension to that, because you mentioned in there, what roles do love and affection play in your life?
Yeah, this is what I'm learning a lot too, and I'd love to actually hear what you think about this, being from a similar, like, growing up phase. I didn't grow up in a family that was very touchy, like hugging. Did you too? Yeah, hugging. Like, even now, I rarely hug my own dad. Like, we have a close relationship, but I rarely hug him.
Right.
And he's just not we're just not a touchy family, and I have had to learn to be more physically, and I actually quite like hugging people, and I do it now. I try intentionally to be much more huggy with my kids than I had.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a tricky one for me to figure out. But I think it's really special. And when I meet people, they say to me, "Are you a hugger?" And I go, "Sure." We just hug because I'm learning to be a hugger, I guess, is what I'm saying. But
Yeah,
it's pretty special, yeah.
With the changing, the way cultures shift and whatever, now when I meet people, I always stand back from and ask and go, "Can I give you a hug?" And you'll see sometimes this flash of terror, and I go, "You're not a hugger, okay?
It's fine.
I can stand back here and I can throw you an air five, and I'm just as happy. But I'm always going to try and hug you first. I'm always going to go to that. Like it's like for me, I grew up playing rugby. Was my other sport along with baseball. I really enjoyed wrestling. I have all of these pursuits where it's all about contact. I love it. I tell my friends all the time that me and one of our friends, we're the guys in our friendship groups that are always telling each other we love you. Hang up just hanging up the phone from a chit chat.
Love you, man.
Be like,
love you, man.
I love you.
Yeah.
And just trying to normalize that idea of telling people that you love them regularly, so it becomes a boring thing. I developed that with my daughters. I thought I want to show them so much affection and tell them that I love them and how amazing they are and that I'm proud of them and all the things I like about them so often that when a guy comes into their life, the bar is so high that they can't walk in there and just go, "Oh, I think you're really cute," and have my daughters go, "Oh, yeah, I am." And I want them to say, "Yeah, I've heard that every day for the last 19 years."
I know. Yeah, I know.
Give me something more than that. Like, you have to do good here, pal. In that regard, I just want this really high bar. So whoever my daughters bring home, I know I'm going to love them because they're going to have to perform at a pretty. They're going to have to be really cool people. In order for them to win them over.
Yeah, wow, that's powerful. Hey.
Yeah, so
you've just made it really hard. You've made it really hard for every man in Western Australia too.
Well, I hope so. Because I know that there's some brilliant young men out there that are emotionally intelligent, that they're well adjusted, they can talk about their feelings, they can share openly, and so I'm really looking forward to meeting someone like that. Yeah,
you've made a really nice filter. It's a really nice way of filtering out in such a positive way. I love it. Yeah.
All right, here's an interactive one. Question 22. Alternate sharing something you consider a positive characteristic of your partner. So you're my partner, I'm your partner. Let's share a total of 5 items. I'll go first. I love your willingness to put yourself out there. Like, number one, you replied to my story the other night going, "Yeah, I'm keen for a chat."
Sure, I will.
I'll be in it. I'm in. I love that. I think that's such a wonderful, positive characteristic of going, "Yeah, why not? Let's see what happens."
Yep. And equally, I love when I've been watching your stories lately, every sort of quote that you put forward, it really resonates with me in the positivity way. Like, I feel like you are also a very positive person. And every time I read something that you share, I go, "That's so good." Like, and I appreciate the positive way that you frame all the things that you share.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Love that.
Second positive characteristic, I think you're really good with vulnerability. And it's for these kind of longer form podcasts where we're trying to help people be vulnerable. I think you're really good at it because you balance this line of information, because it's really easy to overshare. I find. Especially when you forget that this is being recorded and people may actually listen to it. There's a risk of just what do we call it nowadays? Trauma dumping. and go, and it's a sensational story, and it's more about drama. And what I've noticed so far, you've shared none of the drama of your life, but you've been very vulnerable and very open. And I appreciate that, because it's a difficult, it's a difficult territory to navigate, and I think you do it quite well.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I think I've appreciated that you are very good at asking questions, but the conversation is easy too, and that's quite a skill, to be able to meet a complete stranger, like we literally have never spoken before, but to be able to immediately have what feels like a really easy, natural conversation with you. I think that's a real skill, and I really appreciate, I guess, the safety that you've created in the way that you have asked questions, and then also shared your own experience too. I think, yeah, it's really, really nice to feel like it's fine to talk. Yeah.
Ah, cool. Thank you. I share a story with you about that. This is a little bit from research and a little bit from my own experience, and it goes to like why I do this podcast at all. When and so it's about gratitude and giving gratitude to people and thanking people. If there's 3 people in a room, person A is the person giving thanks to someone, person B is the person receiving their thanks, and person C is witnessing it.
Yeah.
Do you realize that person C gets the biggest payoff out of that interaction? So this is measurable. This is in neuroscience research to do with emotions and whatnot.
Yeah.
Person A. So if I thank you for your time, I feel pretty good. Like I might get a boost of, like, let's call it 20 points. I get a 20-point boost. You being thanked, you get about 5 points, right? 5. You don't get much at all for me thanking you, but the person watching me thank you gets about 100 points boost. It is the craziest thing.
I wonder why.
Right? Oh, I think if you get into evolutionary biology, I think there's a whole lot of social dynamics there, and really this is a lot of this is oxytocin based research, which is that social bonding chemical. But oxytocin is also heavily implicated in trust, in who can I trust. And so if I'm watching an interaction and I get this big release of oxytocin because I've watched 2 people thanking each other and having a really wholesome interaction, I trust them more. I trust the world more. I feel safe in myself, and I think that's probably why the bystander gets such a big effect.
Yeah.
And so I started testing this out in my own life, because I'm a scientist and you got to do research.
You do.
So I would go into cafes and buy people coffee. And this one afternoon, fairly rich part of Perth, I pulled over for a coffee, and I've gone to race in, and these 2 old ladies, really sweet old ladies, they held the door open for me, and I made a joke. I go, "Oh, thank you so much." And they go, "Well, you're moving a lot quicker than us." And I go, "Well, there's that." So I got to the counter and I said, "Hey, these 2 ladies, I want my long macchiato, topped up, classic Perth coffee for a middle-aged guy. It's just a lot of coffee and milk." I said, I'll have one of these to go, please. And I'm guessing these 2 ladies coming in, they're locals. I'd like to pay for their coffee and whatever they get. And so the guy goes, "Yeah, awesome. That's a really nice thing to do." So I feel good that I've done something good, but I know that by the time I get back in my car, something else is going to grab my attention, and that the feeling that I get from it is going to go. But that's not why I do it.
No.
And then started this really fun interaction that the old ladies looked at me and go, "Aren't you beautiful? Well, we're also going to we're getting cake because you paid for our coffee. Can we buy you a slice of cake?" And I said, "No, thanks. I've had plenty of cake in my lifetime. I really don't need more." They laughed, gets a chuckle. So then the cafe owner decides to get in on it. He's like, "Oh, well, I want to be part of this. Ladies, cake's on the house." And they're like, "Oh my God, this is the best day ever. We get free coffee and cake, and we're just doing what we do every afternoon." So they cackled with laughter, and they were an absolute delight to chat with. It turned out the cafe owner knew who I was, that he was a member of a gym over the other side of the city, and had followed me for about 7 or 8 years in powerlifting. So it was really cool that he got the payoff of actually finding out my my online persona and my real life persona do match. He's like, this is awesome. But then what we noticed was that there was a mother and daughter waiting for their coffee orders, and the mother was crying. The daughter was close to trying. I think the daughter was like 16 or 17, last couple of years of high school.
Yeah.
So mum, late 30s, early 40s, and she's in tears. The daughter's almost in tears. And we're like, oh, wow.
100 points.
So that had an effect. I'm going, that's the 100 points.
Yeah.
There was so much for them. They just go, this is amazing. This is amazing. And I'm like,
So
cool.
good.
Glad you enjoy.
I'm gonna do that. That's fun.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that. Hey. Yeah.
I do the same with, I try to buy coffee for ambulance drivers as often as I see them in cafes, which isn't that often. Ambulance drivers more than once have saved my life. And so I'm just incredibly grateful that paramedics exist, and I like buying them coffee because I don't think I'll ever meet the two guys that saved my life, but I'll meet a lot of other paramedics and they can benefit from the two guys that helped me. That one always gets tears from bystanders as well. And so I figured there's all these people just wandering around having really beautiful days because a weird old dude bought coffee for a paramedic at 9 o'clock in the morning.
Changing the world, one coffee for a paramedic at a time.
There we
Very
go.
Good.
Coffee saved lives.
Coffee does.
Let's go. Question 23 we're up to now. We're doing this. How close and warm is your family? And do you think and so we'll talk about the family you grew up in.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel like your childhood was happier, less happier, about the same as everyone else around you?
My family are very close. I have quite a big extended family too. We're very close. We were always very close with all of our cousins growing up. Lots of family activities, lots of family holidays, lots of family interactions.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, very close. And I do think that we were luckier than a lot of people around. I'm just thinking of a funny story. My friend that I grew up with, she lived just down the road, and she would sometimes just turn up at our house once she got her license. She was a year older than me, and she would just turn up sometimes and come into our kitchen. And the first thing she would do is she would open our fridge, and she'd go, "Where's the white bread? And where's the full cream milk? And I just want some mayonnaise." And she would just get out like bread and milk and make sandwiches at my place. And she'd say, "We never get white bread at my house. We never get full cream milk." And I always thought that was super weird, but it showed me, I guess, that our house for her was a place where she could let her hair down and just come and eat our food, and she showed me that maybe our family was okay compared to some other families. And that was just a funny interaction. She always used to do that. I think I think I was lucky growing up. I do have a really supportive, close family. Yeah.
Nice.
And I think I've tried to put that into my own family too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I always say that your siblings will be your best friends, and you've got to make sure that the relationships that you build when they're young will help develop that into adulthood. So the things that you do now with each other, for each other, the way you talk to each other, are the basis of lifelong friendships if you allow it to be. So, yeah.
I think that's a great point. Great point.
Yeah.
How do you feel about your relationship with your mother?
Yeah, we have a close relationship, but again, there are some bits that are tricky, with my relationship with her, and I think a lot of that is just her upbringing, her perspective on life that's very different to mine, I guess, as far as her personality, quite different to mine. She's very good, for lack of a better word. I don't know how else to say it. She's just always wants to do what she believes is the right thing, and she can't understand why anyone would not want to do those things too. Not that I want to do anything bad, but I was always a bit more of a wild sort of free spirit, I guess, than what she is when I was young. And I just, we used to butt heads a little bit because I wanted freedom to express my myself, I suppose. And yeah, there was some butting heads, but she's such a good person, and I'm lucky to have a mum that's as caring and kind and capable as her. Yeah.
That's lovely. I was going to ask you a question about Madagascar in there, but I'll leave that one. I think animated film over the last 20 years has been the greatest. I think the greatest literature and storytelling that we have, and far more insightful than most of the live action that we've seen in the last 20 years. Given that most live action is just Marvel.
But new content, people, new material. Like, why are we still remaking Superman or whatever?
Can we have something new? I want to relate.
Please,
I want to go back to ogres and hippos and donkeys and mules.
I just want an original story. Not one that's just rehashed.
That would be nice. That'd be very nice. Yeah. All right, let's get on to this is set 3. This is the home straight.
Let's rapid fire it. Let's rapid fire it because I've probably got, I reckon, 10 minutes.
All right, complete this. Let's go make 3 true we statements each. For instance, we are both in this room feeling whatever. Okay, we're both sharing openly on a podcast with somebody that we've never met before. We've got that in common.
Yeah.
Your turn.
We are both very. I feel like we're both welcoming, right? I feel like you're a very welcoming person. I feel like I am.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Yeah.
We're both into powerlifting, and we both identify that one of the best things about powerlifting has nothing to do with the numbers you put up at a competition.
100%. And we've already talked about how we both like coffee.
Yeah.
And what's my last one? We both are happy for a chat. I quite like a chat, and you seem like you're up for a chat.
I like chatting. Chatting.
It's a chat.
All right, complete this sentence. I wish I had someone with whom I could share. Right now, a donut. I wish I had someone who would share a really great donut with me.
Yeah, I could give or take a donut, but I wish I had someone right now who I could share, like, Mexican. It's time for lunch. It's time for lunch. I like some good Mexican.
What would you have at a Mexican restaurant right now? What would you order?
I really like a burrito bowl. The burrito broken down in the bowl with all the salad and the chicken and all those kind of things. Yeah, with a fork.
So given that it's a Tuesday, it is a Tuesday, isn't it? Yeah, it's
Tuesday. Correct.
And you've said Mexican. I want to fly straight back to Phoenix, Arizona, and I want to go to La Cantina, which was this awesome hole-in-the-wall place next door to a grocery store run by 2 sisters. They've exploded now. They've got like 5 or 6 shops around the greater Phoenix area, all because Guy Fieri ate there once, and then they went huge. We used to go there for lunch on a Tuesday, and we'd spend $10 and then try and eat $10 worth of their food. They were the most generous restaurant owners I've ever met. The lingua taco, just something else.
I just want good guacamole too. Like, how good is like a really good avocado, like authentic guacamole with like a really good corn chip, like a quality corn chip? So nice.
In Arizona, nobody ever asked if you want guacamole. They just assume that you want guacamole because it's always the right answer.
No. And who says no?
Yes, I want guac.
Obviously.
It's an extra $2. I go, yeah. So put it on.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, rapid fire. If you were going to become a close friend with your partner, share what would be important for me to know. So if you wanted to be friends with me long term, what's something that's really important for me to know about you?
I just want the real version of people. Just be real, and whatever that looks like, it's totally fine with me. Just be real. Yeah.
Just be real. I love it.
Yeah.
Tell your partner what you like about them. Be very. Oh, this is the final 12 gets deep. Be very honest this time, saying things that you might not say to someone you've just met.
We have just met.
We have just met. And so we're saying all these nice things. I really like that you're just going with this, that you're having fun.
Yeah, well, there's no better way to live, I feel like. Just, just roll with it.
There you go.
Yeah, I honestly feel that you're really easy to talk to. And I just think that's really nice. It's a really nice quality to have. Yeah.
Share with your partner an embarrassing moment in your life.
I don't do embarrassing things. I like to protect my my dignity. Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I do try really hard not to embarrass myself. Like, being embarrassed is one of the feelings that I struggle with the most, I think. Yeah, that's a hard one for me. I try not to put myself in embarrassing situations.
Yeah, and I think that's the opposite of me. I put myself in embarrassing situations.
On purpose?
On purpose. Like, yeah, I don't really get embarrassed anymore. And when I do, I realize that the emotion of embarrassment lasts as long as the flushing in your cheeks lasts.
Yeah.
So as soon as, which tends to be about 30 seconds. Once that redness goes out of your
It's
cheek,
gone.
goes, oh my goodness, I can't believe they saw that. And I found that allowing embarrassment to exist and allowing people to witness your embarrassment tends to build stronger relationships. So just on the other side of embarrassment is some really beautiful relationships, because people respond to embarrassment every time.
Very true.
Eventually with kindness. And sometimes initially it can just be outrageous laughter, because it's funny for everyone else except for the person that's embarrassed. And then once you get through it, people it's fine. And there's an emotional attachment there. So
very true. Very true. That's good advice for me. Thank you. I appreciate that.
When did you last cry in front of another person or by yourself?
No, like yesterday. Yeah, I have no problem with tears. Yeah, I think they're such a nice way to heal. I love that quote about the best three types of salt. Something about the best three types of salt are tears, the ocean, and sweat. Way to solve problems. Those three things.
I like that. I
wish I could remember the actual quote, but yeah, the way to solve most problems is by salt water, sweat, tears, or the sea. So yeah, I really resonate with those three ways to get your feelings out.
Yeah, if you listen to the podcast that the episode I put up over the weekend with Rachel Elms, that's like her whole story is about the beauty of tears. It's really awesome. Really cool.
She's an awesome
really
human.
Cool.
Yeah.
What, if anything, is too serious to be joked about?
Oh, I struggle when people joke about child slavery, child exploitation, anything to do with the exploitation of children, unfair working conditions for children in various countries. Yeah, those types of things. We don't joke about that kind of thing in my family. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
If you were to die this evening with no opportunity to so dark at the end. If you were to die this evening with no opportunity to communicate with anyone, what would you most regret not having told someone? Oh yeah, that's one of those big ticket ones. So like, is there anything that you've left unsaid with somebody?
I think there definitely is, but I think there are some conversations that you do have to just leave unsaid sometimes. There are some people that I wish I could sit down with and have a rectifying, restorative conversation with, but I don't know that it would actually do any good, I guess. Sometimes I've had to come to peace with that. My nature is to go in and like sort it out and talk about it and come out fine, but sometimes that's just not possible for for whatever reason. So I think for the most part, I think while I understand that doesn't always happen.
Yeah, I think there's a really big difference there in that question. Where is there anything that I haven't said versus is
Yeah.
there a situation that is unresolved? And I think we're
Yeah.
always going to have those unresolved situations. I can think of a half dozen immediately in my head that I'm going, I feel much
I
the
had to
same
walk
way.
away from that or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, and in each of those situations, I'm really happy that I've said my bit and I've left a door open. And
Mhm.
from my side of the fence, according, if we're looking at good, healthy emotional boundaries, I've
Mhm.
said what needed to be said. I have no
Mhm.
regrets.
Mhm.
I do regret that the relationship isn't there, or that things haven't turned out the way I would like them to be.
Yeah.
But for my part, I've done what I can.
Yeah. Totally. And there's always choice of another person, people
Yeah.
that you've got to respect, and we can't engineer those types of things to go the way we wish it would when there's someone's free will involved. Yeah.
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 I'm going to jump past that phrase that you just used. Saying free will to a neuroscientist is really
Oh yeah.
dangerous. So,
Sorry.
you think we've got free will, do you? Let's have a chat. Um, yeah, I would. Maybe we have a free won't system. I'm not convinced about the free will, but
No, that's
and I
perfect.
also don't believe in predestination, but determinism, maybe. Who knows? That's a
Mm.
different podcast. Number 34. Your house containing everything you own catches fire. After you saved your loved ones and your pets, you have time to safely make one final dash to save just one item. What would it be?
It's probably my violin. I play the violin.
Nice.
My dad found me this old violin when I was a teenager, probably 16 or 17,
Mm-hmm.
under my grandfather's house, and he took it to a violin restorer, and they restored it and got it up to working condition, and I've played it ever since, and it's really special to me. And it's a good violin too, so it probably would be that. Everything else, pretty much in my house, I've like thrifted from like marketplace or some secondhand place. So I could happily replace most other things, but yeah, my violin's pretty special to me.
I would run this. I think you'd get this because of your hobby. I would run back in and get the fractional plates from the 1988 World Championships. Uh,
That's commitment. That's commitment. Good on
Yeah,
you.
we've got so the 88 IPF Worlds were held in Perth. They're held at
Yeah.
Observation City, where we had nationals this year.
Mhm.
We seem to have a powerlifting event maybe every 20 years at that hotel. It takes them 20 years to forget how bad we are and
To
how
be
much mess
prepared
we
to have
make.
you back.
And then they're like, "Oh yeah, powerlifters! Like
Yeah, sure,
you guys
sure.
will spend a lot of money over the bar and eat a lot of food. That's good for us. You'll book our rooms out. Yep, we'll do that." And then the day after we leave, they go, "Yeah, maybe we shouldn't have powerlifters for a while." But anyway, we had the 88.
New management in 20 years.
That's right. So we had the 88 Worlds here. And so I've got, the 50 kilo plates now are at my friend's house. He uses them. He's a strong man. He's about the only person that needs them these days. But they're these beautiful silver rimmed, so chrome rimmed, and they're dark green on the inside, 50 kilo plates. The older
Wow.
Vancos, back when the IPF still used 50s.
Yeah.
And then I've got the 2.5 and 1.25 from that set as well. And I just like having them because so many world records were set with them by people that I grew up admiring, and I still admire, and I think they're my heroes. So we had Odie Wilson, one of the greatest super heavyweights of all time. My mentor, Henning Bach, was the center spotter. He was this giant Danish man that looked like Dolph Lundgren from Rocky IV. Ed Cohen, Lamar Gant, Mike Bridges, I think, was there for that one. Gene Bell, Jarno Virtanen, Hidetaka Inaba, like all these Hall of Fame guys lifted with those plates,
So,
and I've got them. They're mine.
how good?
I have
How
them.
good?
So anybody that comes through my garage for a training session will normally get a story about the 88
Do
Worlds
they
and how,
get to touch them? Do they?
and they put they play with them. I use those ones instead of the Titex plates when I'm putting fractionals on. But yeah, that's what I would run back in because I don't think anything else I own is really that valuable. And like you,
how would you get them out effectively when you're rushing? You know, like would you just hoist them and just like do a runner with them?
oh well, they're
Load them up
two and a
and
half.
just like go for it.
They're 2.5 or 1.25. So
Did you say like 50 kilos?
the
Did you say
50.
50 kilos?
Yeah, the 50s are at my friend's place, so I don't need to
Okay,
save them.
okay.
They're
All
already
right,
saved.
good. Okay, good.
So yeah, I can just run in, grab them off the rack, and away we go.
Easy,
Yeah.
very good.
All right. Oh yeah, I remember this question. Of all the people in your family, whose death would you find most disturbing?
Oh, at the moment, it would be if one of my brothers lives overseas in America. He's studying at MIT in Boston.
Oh wow.
He's my genius brother. That's what I like to call him. And at the moment, if he passed away, being over there, far away, that would be really devastating to me. I have a really special connection with him. I think he's a fabulous person and a very interesting person, very talented. And yeah, if he died right now, I think that would be really a huge tragedy for me. Being where he is. Yeah.
Wow. All right, we're at the final question now. We made it. Good job. Good job, us.
Thank you.
All right, so this one is you get to ask me for advice. So you share a personal problem, however big or small, and ask me how I might handle it. And I'll also reflect back to you how you seem to be feeling about the problem that you've chosen.
Okay. Well, this is a powerlifting question, if that's okay.
That's okay. I know a little bit about powerlifting.
I
heard that. Questions.
I heard that. I would love your advice. This is based on an experience that I had at my last competition. I would love your advice about how to, and as I've told you already, my mind is a bit, I would love your advice about how to come to a competition and feel settled, calm, settled in my mind.
Oh, yeah. Okay. What's my advice? My advice is, number one, listen to the interview with Rachel Elms.
Okay.
I see this is one of the biggest things for all athletes, and I think these days the unsettledness is way worse for women, because I think you've got this weird pressure at the moment that if you're involved in a non-traditional female sport, so powerlifting, rugby, AFL, cricket, any of these, we don't seem to be good at tolerating mediocrity. So I think the pressure on women to perform is so much higher than it is for men getting into a sport. Whether that's real or perceived pressure, I think acknowledging that and going, you know what, there is more pressure on me than the 41-year-old bloke standing next to me. Like there's no pressure on him to be good. It seems to be that there's a lot of pressure on women to be good. And so I think we tell ourselves a story about what good means. So if I'm good, and we put whatever numbers to good, because we seem to think that the number on the bar equates to a value judgment on our soul. So we go, well, if I'm good, if I can place this amount, well, what does that mean? Does it mean I'm therefore I belong in this community, I'm accepted, or do all those sort of things? So putting all those things out loud straight away. Rachel calls them the unhinged thoughts, and I think the unhinged thoughts they're the gold. They're what leads us to greatness. And so to put them out and go, oh yeah, so I'm having that. I'm noticing I'm having the thought again, and you put that in. And so we just unhook from the thought. We don't try and defeat the thought. We don't try and play with it. We don't struggle against it, because trying to convince yourself that you should think something different, interrogating your thoughts, challenging your thoughts, that's just making them bigger. It's just reinforcing them. So what I always recommend is going, okay, so you think this right now? Cool. That's nice. What else?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Tell me more about that thought.
Yeah.
Tell me how big it feels. Tell me all of that. And so rather than trying to change the tone, change the atmosphere, change the thought, Just have the thought. Just go, okay,
Mhm.
what's next?
Mhm.
Because we have a million thoughts and
Yeah.
we don't have to obey any of them. We don't even have to entertain them. We can just notice them and go, far out. That one was really weird. That one's messed up.
Mm.
So in order to then, so it's mostly about, accepting that we have weird thoughts, not doing anything about it, like literally not doing anything about it. And then it takes care of itself.
Mm.
So if we look through it, obviously, I'm always talking about the flow cycle. So that struggle, release, flow, active recovery. We're
Mhm.
wanting to get to flow every time.
Mhm.
The struggle phase, quite often, that emotional arousal that we get before a comp and the unsettledness is necessary for a great performance, because that unsettledness is high adrenaline, it's high cortisol, it's everything that your body needs right now to perform at your best.
Mhm.
So it's like that whole flight or fight system is, you're going to be at your best right now, whether you wanted to be here now. There's something so pressing that you're just going to gear up. You've got the nitrous system out. You're all good to go. You're Vin Diesel in Fast and the Furious. You've got everything you need to win the race, to go fast. But what you need in order to transition from that high arousal state to the slightly lower arousal, sharper state is to sift through all of this incoming stimulus, and our thoughts are some of that incoming stimulus, and literally not play at it. All the worries, all the concerns, like, okay, they're there. They
Mhm.
can wait. We can just leave them there, and I can come back to them anytime I want. And I can pick them up and play with them.
Yeah.
But for right now, my body's telling me the signal that something awesome is about to happen, and I'm curious about what it is.
Mhm.
So curiosity, I think, in both the physical and the emotional, is the big weapon to perform at your best for anything. And that's whether you're walking into a classroom, going on a date, um, giving a presentation, doing a squat, lifting your final deadlift. Doesn't matter what it is. That transition phase of accepting that things are exactly the way they are, and then doing it anyway. I think that's the transition from struggle into flow.
Mm. So good. Just sit with it.
Yeah, just let it be there.
Yeah.
Don't need to change it. Don't need to
Yeah.
do anything with it. Don't have to
Yeah.
fight it.
Yeah.
You're
Just.
not wrong for feeling that way.
Yeah.
Um, your thought might even be right, you know, but just acknowledging that it's there,
Yeah.
that it doesn't
Don't feel
own
like you have
you.
to process
Yeah,
every single thing that comes. Yeah. I love
yeah.
that. Thank
And
you.
so we
Very,
do
very.
we do a lot of that. In that comes out of all the trauma work that I've done with people over the years.
Yeah.
Um, Someone going through a deep dark trauma, like, why would you ever want to convince them that they're not?
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes you go, does it feel bad? Yeah, it feels horrible. You go,
Mhm.
okay,
Yeah.
I guess it would.
Mhm.
Um, so yeah, I think that whole of, it's okay to be me. I'm free to be me,
Yeah.
no matter what it is. And this is how someone feels at this point in their life, having gone through the experiences that you've gone through.
Very cool. Very helpful. Love it.
Well, that's 36 questions in 2 hours.
Smashed it.
Well done. Oh,
You
feels like an
also.
accomplishment.
You also. Thank you.
After this, I'm going to give myself the rest of the day off to relax, actively recover, because I know for me, these conversations are always a flow experience. It doesn't feel like I've been talking to you for 2 hours. You're a wonderful person to talk to. It's so easy
Oh,
to chat.
thank
And I
you.
love conversations where I lose track of time. So I really appreciate you giving me that gift this morning.
No, me also. Thank you. And again, it's been really nice for me too. It's nice to meet people that feel like-minded and where the conversation flows, like you said. So yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate your time too.
Awesome. And as always, I'll put this in the notes, the very, very small amount of notes that I leave. If people want to get in contact with you, either in person or online, how should they do it?
Yeah, just through Katetothebar is the perfect way. So at Katetothebar on Instagram.
Hmm. And they can find out about all of your travels, wild powerlifting adventures, and thoughts.
Sure, sure, and
Awesome.
welcome to talk to anyone anytime.
There you go. Awesome.
Very
Thank
cool.
you for being on, and
Thank you. Nice
let's
to properly meet you.
yeah, let's do this again soon, but in
Yeah,
person at a powerlifting comp.
that'd be awesome. Sounds good.
Cool.
All right.